Morning. Thank you. I'd like to call the meeting of the Board of Public Works and Safety to order on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. I note for the record we do have a quorum, and we also have a new member this morning, Barry Williams.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Appreciate it.
Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Is there any petitions or comments by citizens who are present? Yes, sir. Please, approach podium and give your name and address.
Brian Clifford, 6939 Trophy Lane. I'll just make it quick and general, but we have been talking to the developer of the Janus property because that's right near our neighborhood there. So we had a meeting with him about 2 weeks ago, and we just had some questions. And I just wanted to bring up something that came to our attention. I'm sure people know about this already, but when the developers, there's an action plan that's released by the state every year, and the developers do an application and there's a points process. And they try to maximize the points because they're in competition with other projects. But there's a section in that action plan that has to do with, I brought this up today because I think it might have to do with safety, but there's a part about tenant screening in there, and it's a little concerning about not screening for any misdemeanors and not screening for felonies older than 5 years. There's more to it, but so when we asked the developer, he said that he had, in their application, they had promised. They still have to do affidavits and plans and stuff like that, but in their application, they said that they had pledged to have this low barrier tenant screening for the max points. So I thought that was a little concerning. I just wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
Any of your concern have anything to relate to any of the items on the agenda today?
No, but this, I figured because it had to do with safety, I just wanted to bring up
Okay.
the general thing. I'll probably be going to the council meeting later
Okay.
today too. So I just wanted to say that real quick, but thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Any other comments, petitions? Seeing none, we will move on to the approval of the agenda.
Mr. President, I
Yes.
would like to propose that we change new item number 10 to read a public hearing board to consider resolution RB 4225, a resolution to proceed with the public-private partnership with Tinneman Innovative Solutions for the Headworks Improvement Project, and approve the rest of the agenda as presented.
Second.
That was very eloquent.
Thank you.
Good job. Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Well, this morning we have a quote opening, purchase and installation of wastewater treatment plant blower. Jonathan Hughes.
Morning, Board.
Morning.
We have received 2 quotes for this project this morning. The first one is from Choice Mechanical Services in Indianapolis. Choice Mechanical Services total quoted price is $123,392. Second quote we've received is from Greiner Brothers, Inc. That's Greiner, also in Indianapolis. Greiner Brothers, Inc. Total quote for this price, or this project, is $133,392. $397.00. Is there anyone present who knows of any other quotes we should have received for this item? Did you need something, Evelyn? No. Okay. Seeing no one else mentioning what else we should have received quotes from, I would recommend that this be given to the utility department for their review and award at a future meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now we have two bid openings. First bid opening will be Dillon Park Build, Operate, Transfer.
Just a note for the record, these are RFPQs we received for the build, operate, transfer. So we will open just to acknowledge who the bidder is and the receipt, but will not reveal the details because it's a BOT project. The first one is from First Due Company, LLC. First Due Company has submitted the type of information we requested, and so their bid is received. The second one we received is from TCI Construction Solutions LLC, which I believe is a division of Thieneman. Their bid also seems to be in order in terms of providing the types of information that we requested. And so having received those two, is there anyone present who knows of any others we should have received for the Dillon Park project? Seeing none, we'll just note these were received and they will now be given to the selection committee and they'll come back to you in the future for a recommended award.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Savannah, do you have your selection committee already picked, or is there still room?
We have selected it.
Okay. I was gonna offer to sit in, but I'm not wanted. Next bid opening, 2025 Old Town Sidewalks Project. Jonathan Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. President. You are absolutely wanted.
Hey, I wanted you.
Yeah, I feel the love.
You're welcome.
She didn't say who was on the selection committee. She just said it had been selected.
Savannah, I want to thank you again. I appreciate the opportunity to serve.
Next time.
We want you all, and there's only so many seats.
Just that I've been on more build, operate, transfer selection committees than anybody else in the city. That's,
On the selection committee, representing you too.
I think that might be sexist.
Okay. Trying to recover. Okay, we've received 3 bids for the 2025 Old Town Sidewalk Project. The first is from Calumet in Whitestown, Indiana. There were no addenda for this project. Their bid bond is present. Their non-collusion affidavit is present. Their E-Verify affidavit is present. Their Form 96 is present. And it does appear they provided financial information. Their total base bid is $227,000 and no cents. The next one we've received is from C&T Construction Company in Indianapolis. Their bid bond is present. Non-collusion affidavit is present. E-Verify affidavit is present. Their Form 96 is present, and they have provided financial information. Their total base bid is $238,768 and no cents. The last bid we received at the start of this meeting is from, excuse me, E&B Paving Company in Fishers. Their bid bond is present. Their non-collusion affidavit is present. Their E-Verify affidavit is present. Their Form 96 is present. And it does appear that they've provided financial information. Their total base bid is $397,464 and no cents. Is anyone present who knows of any other bids we should have received for this project? Seeing none, I would recommend this be given to the engineering department for their review and award at a future meeting.
So moved.
Second. There's a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Also, just for the record, Andrew looks really great on the correct side of the aisle. Just wanted to point that out for the
The
for the
tarp
record.
side.
Yeah. Now that the quotes and bids are gone through, we will move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve as presented?
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. On to new items for discussion. Item 1, board to consider special purchase of Scott self-contained breathing apparatus and associated equipment from Hoosier Fire Equipment, Inc. Fire Chief Matt Mitchell.
Good morning, Mr. President, board members.
Morning.
Matt Mitchell, representing Noblesville Fire Department. You have in front of you a resolution for a special purchase to replace our self-contained breathing apparatus, or SCBA units. We are at a point with our current SCBA's where we need to make a decision. We need to either invest some more money or we need to replace them. We've not been happy with the product, so we are interested in replacing our SCBA's, and we have a couple things that we're up against. One is a timing issue. We need to use 2025 funds to purchase these, so we have a kind of a time consideration. But the primary consideration, other than the fact we're not happy with the current product, is we have an interoperability challenge with our mutual aid partners, so it's a safety issue. So all of our primary mutual aid partners around us utilize the Scott SCBA. So this will allow us the interoperability to, the fittings will be the same, the bottles will be the same. And so there's a safety issue in a couple different considerations that we need to get these things replaced. And so we're asking for your consideration to approve the resolution in order to do that. So I'd be glad to answer any questions for you.
Matt, are we able to donate the surplus property, the old mast, to a smaller fire department?
Well, we're still kind of contemplating that from a legal standpoint. The mask component is what we're struggling with the safety issue. So we're not convinced that donating those is the best course of action. So we do have an opportunity for a trade-in to get recoup some dollars from this. So
Okay.
we're still kind of navigating that.
Okay.
But the mask, that's what's causing us some problems. So we have a concern with donating from a liability standpoint those to anybody.
Is there any other discussion or questions?
I'd move for approval of the special purchase of the Scott self-contained breathing apparatus.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
And then on to
I
item,
am going to, I failed to mention perhaps the most important thing is it's dependent upon a funding decision tonight by council. So,
And that is in the language of your declaration, so it's covered in
sorry
there.
for that omission. but-
moving on to item 2, board to consider special purchase of one Braun ambulance from Penn Care to replace the current ambulance at Station 75. Division Chief James Mackey.
Good morning, board members.
Morning.
Good morning.
In front of you, you have a special request for purchase of an ambulance to replace the ambulance at Station 75. That ambulance is due to be replaced in 2026 as part of our regular ambulance replacement program. So we worked through the budgetary process knowing that we needed to purchase an ambulance in 2026. And as we got through that process, our next step is to engage the vendors and manufacturers on the purchase of the ambulance. We do have a fleet of Braun ambulances, and that's what we're looking to, to maintain that consistency in our fleet. So we engaged Penn Care. What we would typically do is start working on specs, and then once we got everything together, we would go through a governmental purchase program to purchase the ambulance. What they told us at the time is that the build time would be 3 years on this ambulance. The industry standard right now is anywhere from 2 to 4 year on builds, and we had a long conversation on that. But Penn Care said, hey, we do have a special opportunity for you. They purchased 20 Braun ambulances. And so it's still a custom-built ambulance, but it goes down the line and it has a configuration. They take the most popular configurations from their clients, they put it together. We looked at it and we're like, oh, that's a pretty close match to what we do. We can make this ambulance work. And the sweet part of it is we can get the ambulance. It's due in June of 26. So that more closely puts us where we really need to be with our ambulance replacement. So we find ourselves in front of you asking for permission to purchase the ambulance.
Thank you. What's the, on that schedule that you're doing on the ambulances, what's the lifespan you're looking for?
Yeah, great question, because we've been in front of the board with various purchases and remounts. So when we purchase a new ambulance, at the 7-year mark, we'll do what's called a remount. So they take the box off the ambulance and put it onto a new chassis. They do a refresh, we'll refresh upholstery and various, components and things, and we'll run it for another 7 years. So the box part of the ambulance typically gets, at the 14-year mark, gets replaced, but the chassis is getting replaced every 7 years.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd move for approval of the special purchase of one Braun ambulance from Penn Care to replace the current ambulance at Station 75.
Second.
Motion is second. You have funding in place?
Yes, sir, we do.
With a motion and a second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, James. Item 3, board to consider resolution RC 39-25, a resolution approving property acquisition. Jonathan Hughes.
Good morning again, Board. Jonathan
Morning.
Hughes, City Attorney. We discussed this matter at an executive session. I know Mr. Williams hadn't joined us yet. I'm happy to answer any questions, but effectively, this is before you because the utility is looking to purchase some property. The properties are 212 Walnut Street, 360 Walnut Street, and some properties owned by Lusco Corporation. As the resolution before you indicates, the goal of this purchase is a couple. One, to look at expanding our wastewater treatment plant. Our long-term plans indicate that's going to be needed, and this is directly adjacent to the wastewater treatment plant, so it allows us to determine if we can acquire this property from Mr. Smith, who owns the Lusco parcels, or the Lusco Corporation through Mr. Smith. If we're able to acquire those, that'll help us with the planning of where that would go. And then the other two parcels, one is directly across from the wastewater treatment plant. It would allow for a better entrance into the plant. And the other is along the Nickel Plate Trail and will help us with expanding our trail assets there. So happy to answer any questions you have. Otherwise, I'd recommend approval.
This is a great location.
I apologize, I haven't seen the map. Is it all the properties that we talked about in executive session?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
I'd move for approval of the property acquisition as presented in RC 3925.
Second.
Motion a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. On to item 4, board to consider resolution RB 41-25, a resolution approving the project and license agreement between the City of Noblesville and Pacers Basketball Development, LLC, doing business as Noblesville Boom. That's fun to say.
It's really fun to say.
Jonathan Hughes.
And it's so fun to say, I'm going to let Matt Light come up and talk to you a little bit about it.
He wants some fun too.
Listen, it's exciting, and the attorney doesn't do exciting things, so we'll let Matt talk, and
Yeah,
then I'll come up and clean up with the boring
That's
stuff.
because they're incapable, John.
Thank you, Board. Matt Light, Deputy Mayor, he does do fun stuff, and he's integral to this effort. I'm really pleased to have the opportunity to present what's essentially the 10-year lease agreement between the City of Noblesville and the Noblesville Boom and Pacer Sports and Entertainment. The Boom have their first home game, as you might know, in 4 days from now. So there's a lot of work in partnership with them and with Rev Entertainment to gear up for that, and we're looking forward to a pretty awesome community event and a lot of those going forward after that. But this is, as you see in the packet, a really detailed and multifaceted agreement that attempts to create a framework to really govern all aspects of the relationship and the partnership over that term. It's consistent with the term sheet that we first signed with Pacer Sports and Entertainment back in May of '23 when the announcement was first made about their decision to relocate to Noblesville. It's evolved in a few areas as our project evolved, particularly as we decided during the design process to enhance the size and some of the amenities in the arena, working collaboratively with our design team and with the Pacers. But some key provisions to call out for your attention and consideration. It's a 10-year term with an option for renewal. It includes an average of $500,000 annually in rent. It's front-loaded purposefully so that we can, as we ramp up and book more events, we have some revenue, some additional proportional revenue on the front end. The city gets to keep, and the Pacers are working diligently with us on naming rights and permanent venue sponsorships, and we expect to have some further announcements on that front for you and the community soon. That first $1 million that the city keeps is actually an increase, a doubling of the original term, and that goes to some of the expansion of the project that was recognized. The city keeps the food and beverage revenues and the parking revenues from operations at the arena. The Boom keeps ticket sales and team sponsorship revenues. And then there's a revenue share on merchandise sales that we've coordinated with them. It includes a lot of information in the agreement about really delineating the responsibilities of the parties as it relates to game nights, production, operations and maintenance of the facility, and the coordination that will be necessary to put on those successful events. And delineation too of kind of use of the arena, kind of portions of the arena that are going to be exclusively used by the Boom during the season, and other portions that will be used for a variety of events that will happen throughout the year. and it includes the kind of the process that we'll work through with the Boom to reserve dates as the G League establishes its schedule each year, and that we can reserve those, but then also release them when appropriate so that we can be booking other events as well. And it includes some ability for additional days of utilization with a cap and a process to add more for like open practices and fan events and those types of things. So it's a substantially complete form, going through some final reviews with John and his counterparts. But we wanted to make sure that we presented this to you before the first game on Saturday so that we have an agreement in place as we get started. So with that, happy to pause for John to add any more details or answer any questions.
The only other detail to add in terms of legal application is this will also require approval by the RDC because of their involvement in the project, and we presented to them at their meeting this week. I spoke with the Pacers legal counsel yesterday, and we fully expect to have this thing fully executed by Thursday. So that's why we're coming to you, ask for your approval now. The kinds of things that we're talking about, sort of still tweaking, are like, when do we find out how many game spaces you needed reserved, and how many postseason games you need reserved? It's not really the nuts and bolts of the things that Matt discussed, which are locked in and solidified. I would also note that because the original term sheet said that upon substantial completion, we would get paid a certain amount, but we were still negotiating the terms of this lease. The Pacers did go ahead and pay us the first half of the first year's payment, which we've already received in our bank. So I've been a really good partner to work with, and we're excited to get this season started. Happy to answer any questions you have.
You know, we don't get to say this enough, too. This project was ahead of schedule, under budget.
Yeah, the whole project was ahead of schedule and under budget, and I will be honest, if you told me that at the front end, I would have said, I would love to be able to say those words, but one of them we're not going to be able to say, but ahead of schedule and under budget, that is correct.
Oh, and Savannah, I was on that selection committee. Just saying. Any other discussion?
The signage that we approved last meeting, I
Yes.
believe it was last meeting, is that portion of the revenue the cities, or is that a split? Are they sponsoring the arena, or,
Yeah.
or is it the Boom?
Yeah, so
And I don't care, I was
Nope.
just curious.
Yeah, so it'll depend on the type of sponsorship. So the largest signage component of that is a permanent sign that goes directly underneath where the digital display is, and that is for a naming rights sponsor, so that comes directly to the city.
Great.
Most of the sponsorship on there, we expect to be arena-type sponsors, whether it be, a specific event sponsor, or whether it be an event being advertised, or a drink sponsor, or what have you. And that digital display allows us to give more front-facing for that. But obviously, the Boom may run some team sponsor type events things, so there could be, one-offs. But the goal behind that is to allow us to be able to increase our rental revenue and our sponsorship revenue. So that's the goal.
Thank you for everything, it's really exciting.
I make a motion to approve Resolution RB 4125, approving the project and license agreement between the City of Noblesville and Pacers Basketball Development.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Board.
Thank you, gentlemen. Item 5, board to consider extending temporary closure of 4 parking spaces for seasonal dining platform at 110 North 9th Street. Sarah Reed.
Thank you very much. We'll take a moment for Aaron Head, who's on his honeymoon, who's supposed to be doing these 2 things today. So we're going to switch from arena and Boom basketball to fine dining in Noblesville for the next 2 topics. So this item today is an extension of the Courthouse Club encroachment agreement. So they currently have outdoor dining that looks beautiful and has been well received by the public and also pretty highly utilized. The extension today will cover for 60 days, so through December 31st. And they are going to, if you have not been by there, yesterday I was, they're going to attempt to put igloos in that space instead of the outdoor tables.
They have one out there last night.
They do. They have one out there yesterday. I noticed it when I went to lunch there. So they will still maintain the ADA requirement to be able to get through on that sidewalk. And I did notice that they did have some planters just where it might have extended a little bit past where the seating itself was. The mayor's office is recommending approval of this today. These igloos will give them a little bit extra flexibility before the construction season for Embrace Downtown that will happen next year. And then it is also the ability possibly to extend through January and February, but we're going to do a trial here for the first 2 months to see how this goes. Since igloos, this will be a first for downtown Noblesville with this attempt. So,
My question is, street department was before us and got a encroachment approval to use the sidewalk to do second-story repairs because the outdoor seating was gonna be done.
do we need to wait until that is finished? How long is that going to take? Do you know, is it for the specific building itself? Daryl, do you know about that portion?
I don't know what your project is. I'm here on the west side, in terms of the boathouse.
Do you want to come up?
Club and non-house restaurants. So for
You
us,
have-
it's.
Sorry, you have to come up and say your
Could you
name.
come up to the podium and introduce yourself again? I apologize.
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Sorry.
Right.
We could do this after that work is done. Go ahead and say your
Again,
name. Yep.
Daryl Norris, the attorney for Courthouse Club and Don House Restaurants. So for us, what's important is to be able to continue that outdoor seating season. And it's important to our revenue, our importance in being there. It's all part of our concept of being in downtown on the courthouse square, just off the courthouse square. So interruptions for us is tough, because that takes our season out. I don't know what the project is that's being mentioned. I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it's the same building, second floor repairs, and they agreed to wait until the outdoor seating was finalized and finished. And so I'm all in favor of the igloos and all that kind of stuff, but.
They can't
we-
start until the other work is complete.
Exactly.
And I can share with you what those dates are after this.
Okay. Anyway, and we've done it, by the way, at the boathouse, so we have some experience with it. I think it'll be a nice amenity for downtown, and from that location, they can still see the courthouse at night, which is obviously beautiful. But that's what we would like to do.
Yeah. Igloos are gonna be covered with some kind of screening.
Right. So what you saw was just the framework.
Frame.
Yeah, they're all encapsulated. There'll be lights on them and things like that. They'll be heated. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, anyway, that's what we would like to do and to extend that. Thank you.
So our motion would have to include the outdoor seating can only take place after the repairs to the second story building.
Correct, and we will share that back with the boathouse on those dates.
Any further discussion?
I would move for approval of extending the temporary closure of 4 parking spaces for seasonal dining platform at 110 North 9th Street, subject to the previously discussed work being completed.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. On to item 6, board to consider facade improvement grant for 40 North 9th Street. Sarah.
Yes, thank you again. So this is a facade grant for the buildings that, the building that Mateo's is in. This is to, not replace, but repair a sign. And that was, you have several options in your packet, and Mateo's has chosen to go with CSI for that sign. So if you look to that specific image, you'll see which one they're going to use for that replacement. And then the awning that is currently there is green. It's a little bit torn. It's going to be removed from that frame, and then a new one will be put up in the color of indigo, which I'm told is blue. And so that is what both of those two options are. And the awning will be done by Shade by Design. So it is for a total grant amount of $4,648.26.
Indigo is blue, huh?
Is it blue or, yeah, it's like a dark, deep blue maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trusting Evelyn.
Sure, this has already been through the committee, the facade.
Yes. Yep.
I'd move for approval of the facade improvement grant for 40 North 9th.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
One last comment, sorry. Based on the last conversation, they will have to get an encroachment permit for the sidewalk in order to put up the new sign and the awning. So they will
better
likely
go to the
have
street department.
yes, they will. They will connect with the
Renee's
street
on
department,
those
right? Yep, see, we're
people.
getting thumbs up back there.
Yeah.
All right.
Just on that, with the last agenda item and this one, these downtown merchants, and I know the city does very, very well in communication with Main Street, et cetera. But with the holiday shopping coming up and what these merchants are going through, just anything we can do to try to help them would be good for our city.
Yes, agreed. Thank you. Appreciate it.
On to item 7. This is Savannah's. Board to consider permission to advertise bid operate transfer for Finch Creek Park Phase 2. Savannah.
Another one, yes. We would like to put out another RFPQ for a BOT for Finch Creek Phase 2 activation. We are wrapping up the master plan of that site right now, so Phase 2 would include about 98 acres that are south of 166 and east of the creek, building onto what's already existing from Phase 1. We have a little bit of prelim civil and architect design done, and we are ready to scope it out.
You have a committee?
I would love to consider.
I'd move for approval to advertise for the build, operate, transfer for Finch Creek Park Phase 2.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Good luck. Item 8, board to consider purchase and upfitting of new street department urban forester truck. James Alexander.
Good morning, Board.
Morning.
I see we have two new members that I've never met. I'm James Alexander, Fleet Manager for the Street Department.
Hi, James.
Before you today is a request to purchase a new truck for our urban forester. His truck is currently 10 years old. It's a single cab pickup truck, limited storage. It's an old base pickup truck. He needs a little more interior room, storage for tools, and battery charging for some of his tools. So we put this out for a quote, received 3 back from local dealers. Hare Chevrolet was the lowest bid at $50,902 for the truck itself. All of the upfitting that we would need to do would be some Boss snow plows and toolboxes and some charging equipment, and that would be performed by Mid-State Truck Equipment at a cost of $14,139.80. We only got one quote on that because Boss is the only local authorized dealer for the Boss snowplows that we use. So the total cost for that truck as part of our 2025 budget is $65,041.80. And I'm open to any questions that you may have.
What kind of lifespan you think you'll get out of this truck? 10 years?
We expect 10 years.
Yeah.
Is the snowplow for just cross usage as you need it?
That is correct.
I make a motion to approve the purchase and outfitting of a new street department urban forester truck.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, James.
Thank you, Board.
Item 9, board consider a recommendation to proceed with a public-private partnership with F.A. Wilhelm Construction Company, Inc. for the Lift Station 20 replacement project. Jonathan Murgo. I think I was on that selection committee, too.
Yes, that's correct. Jonathan Mergot with Noblesville Utilities. Honorable members of the board, Mr. President. Today we're asking for you to approve the build, operate, transfer agreement with F.A. Wilhelm Construction for the Lift Station 20 replacement project. This was a contractor that the board entered into a scoping agreement with upon a consensus recommendation of the selection committee. We had some excellent knowledge and expertise from President Martin on that committee. I really appreciate that. That was very insightful. This project is something that we have studied and restudied. It's a very large project. It's not something we take lightly, but this will allow for continued growth in the southwest quadrant of the Noblesville Township, which is really limited currently by the existing lift station. It is a complete replacement of the existing lift station and a force main all the way directly to the treatment plant, as opposed to the current one that daisy chains through the system. Not only will this create sufficient capacity for ultimate build-out of this entire area, this will also create capacity at Lift Station 19, which is currently part of the daisy chain for the current alignment, which will then open up more capacity at that lift station for additional growth for almost the entire western portion of the city. This project will not only include all the trappings of a standard lift station a large force main that will be mostly directional drilled because of the industrial, high traffic, high speed, industrialized traffic area. We've worked very closely with Beaver and other property owners in that area. So we're really pleased that Wilhelm can bring a lot of self-performing for the directional drilling. And additionally, this is one of the worst odor areas in the collection system outside of the treatment plant. So we've been working with an odor control specialist who's helping guide us through equipment selections, and we'll be installing an odor control unit at that facility.
Well, at this time, I'd like to open a public hearing. Is there anyone from the public that wants to address this issue? Seeing no one from the public approach, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now, is there any further discussion on this recommendation?
Quick question, where is this located? Like
This
cross street?
is near, the facility is Trinity Sports Park. There's a soccer facility on the west side. I believe it's 161st, I always mess up, 161st, and there's a Vestal ditch that's right there. It's kind of in the vicinity of, there's not a lot of developments in that area. There's some mining facilities
Okay.
nearby.
Is there a motion to,
Move to approve to proceed with the public-private partnership with F.A. Wilhelm Construction for the Lift Station 20 replacement project.
Second.
motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
On to item 10. Board to consider resolution RB 42-25, a resolution to proceed with public-private partnership with the Theinemann Innovative Solutions for the Headworks Improvement Project in Savannah. I think, yeah, I was on that selection committee too.
It is true.
Jonathan.
Thank you, Board. The Utilities is requesting approval of another build, operate, transfer agreement with Theinemann Construction for the Headworks Rehabilitation Project. Theinemann was previously selected for our first build, operate, transfer agreement, which replaced a significant amount of equipment, solids handling and solids treatment equipment at the plant. This BOT project will kind of marry nicely with that project at the plant. There's some scope that they have in the headworks. This is basically all the other complete rehabilitation of the headworks beyond what's in their existing scope of work. Replacement of all the pumps and piping, a complete overhaul of the HVAC system. Currently, we give tours. We kind of just walk people past the headworks facility and point at it when the doors are open and let them look down into the entrance of the headworks, but say, you don't really want to go in there, but we hope upon the complete replacement of the HVAC equipment, it should be a decent space to work, which is also not only good for people who tour, but also our own workers who are there. This will be a complete modification of the electrical room. This building was built before explosion-proof standards were in place in FPA 820. So it really does not meet modern explosion-proof standards with electrical equipment exposed to explosive gases. So that's something that we also want to do just for our own safety standards and to prolong the life of the electrical equipment as well. Numerous building and flow channel plant and site improvements. Last but not least, this is we believe, the largest source of odors that emanate from the treatment plant. It's not the only location of odors, but we are step by step hoping to improve the odors that are coming out of the plant and becoming a better neighbor to the people in that region and the people who drive by on Pleasant Street. And so this is a major investment in the odor control that is coming out of the Headworks facility. Not going to solve all the issues. This is, but when I'd say there's about 3 or 4 locations of odors that emanate from the plant, and this is probably the top one.
Thank you.
Well, this item requires a public hearing, so at this time, I'd like to open a public hearing. Is there anyone from the public here today that'd like to come up and address this issue? Seeing no one, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. All in favor of closing the public hearing signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now, is there any discussion or a motion to approve this item?
I'll make a motion to approve recommendation to proceed with the public-private partnership with the Thieneman Innovation Solutions for the Headworks Improvement Project.
Second.
Motion, a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you very much, Board, and I really appreciate your all's participation in our selection committee. We could not have selected these contractors without it. Thank you.
Item 11, board to consider professional services agreement for design of a roundabout 191st Street and Moontown Road. Jim Hellman.
Good morning, Jim Hellman, Engineering Department. Before I have you is a contract for a roundabout design. It's the contract's for the full design. We're originally going to stop at 30%. We got a nearby development, also a lot of traffic there. So at least if we get some funding opportunities, we're ready to go to hit that. We will be applying through the Indianapolis MPO for funds in their current call. So hopefully that comes to fruition and we can execute and construct it. But the initial part will just be 30% design.
Jim, kind of related, have we done a traffic count on that area? Do we know?
Yeah, so this one is like, it is identified as having an issue, like if all the ones around town it's already currently, and then with the additional traffic, like I said, we're looking to have this intersection program, Senate Bill 1 kind of made some complexities to that, so it's kind of been deferred a little bit, but it's one of our ones that's on the list that, like I said, we're taking the effort to get 30% design, because that puts us in better opportunities for grant opportunities.
On our thoroughfare plan, what's slated for 191st? Is this going to be a turn lane only in the middle at some point, 3 lanes, or?
So what we've looked like, so previously, like, so 191st Street stops just a mile east of Newtown at Hazelville Road. So most likely that'll just still remain a 2-lane section, potentially with like turn lanes and stuff. Like I said, any of the new developments we've had, protected lefts, XL, decel lanes put in there. I think Westfield further to the west is looking at a 4-lane, but that's as 191st Street has more opportunity to gain more traffic.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion?
Make a motion to approve professional service agreement for design of the roundabout at 101st Street and Moontown Road.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank
Item
you.
12, board consider award a bid for the 2025 Old Town Sidewalk Project. Andrew Wordwall.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It seems like a long time ago now. We opened some bids at the start of the meeting. The 2025 Old Town Sidewalk Project uses funds that are dedicated to sidewalks in Old Town. After reviewing these, all 3 bidders were qualified. The lowest responsible bidder was Calumet Civil Contractors with an amount of $227,000. Calumet has done a significant amount of work for the city, so we don't have any concerns with awarding this to them this quickly. So I would recommend award to them pending receipt of the necessary bonds and signed contracts that we'll get back to you for final execution.
I'd move for approval of the award of the 2025 Old Town Sidewalk Project to Calumet Civil Contractors.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Is there any other business before the board? Seeing none, we are adjourned. Thank you for attending.
Yeah.
Shaker.